Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly.
Hello, Steve. Hello, Larson. It's me, Dexter Loomis, NXT Superstar. So here's my shout out to the Going In Raw podcast. Clever name.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Let's see here. Where are we starting today? I know we've got an NXT to talk about. I guess this is NXT related because it deals with the referee in NXT. Larson, what's going on with Drake Wuertz today?
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Indeed.
So there was a city council meeting, or an Orange County council meeting around the Orlando area recently, yesterday, I believe. And Drake Wuertz, NXT referee, showed up to protest a mask mandate while wearing his NXT polo shirt.
Well, he showed up via Zoom.
Yeah, via Zoom. Yes. So, Steve, what did he say exactly in this Zoom meeting?
Oh, he said, I don't have the transcript. I watched it. He's crying, for one thing. He's very emotional about this subject. But essentially, the idea is forced mask mandates enable sex traffickers to traffic children. This is part of this conspiracy theory stuff that he's been linked to in the past. Much of, I know David Bixenspan has done a lot of work, a lot of journalism stuff on this. This is nothing new. And there is, this goes along with the, nutball sort of crazy QAnon stuff that is out there as well, where this sort of like the anti-maskers and the QAnon people are sort of like, it's sort of like one nebulous group of weirdness. Right. And yeah, he was saying that, enforcing these mask mandates, think about the children is essentially what he's saying. It's complete and utter garbage. It's total nonsense. And according to a report from Fightful, he was possibly suspended recently, earlier this year, because of this kind of behavior.
Yeah. Fightful says, he got either formally or informally suspended earlier this year. Wasn't allowed at the CWC for a period of time. And I guess it was one of Bixenspan's previous articles. Fightful here is reporting that horrified some people backstage. And then, of course, the video yesterday, apparently he has some substantial heat with some people at the Performance Center. And apparently he used to be the head ref in NXT, not anymore.
Yeah.
The Fightful is also saying that he was considered for the job of timing matches. That job went to Scott Armstrong. So,
hey, what was that last? Did I read that last line in Fightful, the Fightful report? How some believe his beliefs might actually help his position with some in the company. Or did I read that wrong? I don't have it in front of me.
This says, I'll read the last sentence. Many that we've go subscribe to Fightful Select, by the way. Many that we've spoken to in NXT are surprised he's still there and fear that his radical beliefs may have actually helped him from being fired.
I really wish there was some elaboration on that one. Like there are people inside that feel the same way. I mean, we've heard things like Shawn Michaels has gotten into beef with people with like a producer backstage about certain beliefs. So, obviously we're not there. We read things from, the wonderful people at Fightful Select and John Pollock and John Alba, and others, Dave Meltzer sometimes.
I mean, here's another way, I guess, maybe to look at this. Not so much that there's people that work in the NXT office, they're
wrongful termination. Is that what you're thinking? Like he could file for wrongful termination?
Something like that. Like they fear they might open themselves up to being sued because of firing them over this. That's another way to potentially, I guess, read that sentence.
There's no, unfortunately, there's no context, in terms of what exactly that means. But I mean, dude, this is, I mentioned this off camera when we were first asked about it. It's a sad situation that, there are people out there who are so wrapped up in this nonsense that it's like literally destroying their lives. Like in this case, potentially his livelihood. I mean, obviously there's something going on here where this guy calls into this meeting crying about the children that are being trafficked. And it's like, what is going on with you, man? Like there's nothing of substance to back this up. It's conspiracy theory stuff. It's Alex Jones type stuff. And you need to back off it because I don't know how to help. I don't know what to do. There's a terrific documentary on YouTube from, I think it's the channel Folding Ideas, and it's called In Search of Flat Earth, and it starts out, it's like an hour long. It's terrific stuff, and it starts out as like a documentary about flat Earth, and then he sort of twists it into a documentary about QAnon, and it's really interesting. It gives you a lot of in-depth, a pretty in-depth look at the origins of the conspiracy theory stuff, and unfortunately it's ruining people's lives, and they're just going down this hole, and who knows how you get out of it. I mean, dude, there's been countless times you see headlines in various newspapers, families being torn apart by this stuff. I can't talk to my mom anymore, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And not me. I'm talking about other people. My mom is fine. Yeah. She's not like that. So yeah, it's disappointing to say the least. It is for sure. Another bit of news before we move on to the NXT recap. Andrade, now that he's no longer WWE, free to wrestle wherever he wants, he announced his first match since being released. It'll go down July 31st. Talking about disappointing. July 31st in Texas against Alberto Del Rio. Yeah, I didn't even know he was free. He's pending, isn't he pending trial? Isn't that the thing with him? That's my understanding, yeah. Somebody let him out on bail. The trial got pushed to May 3rd. When is this match? July 31st. Card's always subject to change. Card is subject to change, man. I remember, these guys, I think they're pretty close. I remember Del Rio used to talk about Andrade after Del Rio. It was like it was very close together when Del Rio had his last run and Andrade showed up in NXT. I think it wasn't that far apart. I think I remember him mentioning Andrade, saying, he doesn't believe Andrade has a great chance of success in the WWE because WWE would look at his physique, because he felt that Andrade didn't have the physique that WWE would be looking for. And obviously he was, to a degree proven wrong. I mean, after that is when Andrade had some great success in NXT, came to the main roster, not so much. But I mean, he was a United States champion there. He had some amount of success. Great matches against Rey Mysterio. There was high points. There were definitely high points. It was just he was unfortunately not creative proof, like very few people in the company are. Yeah. And so it was a matter of him just not coming across the right people to get his creative right. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Will that match happen? Who knows? Who knows? Anyways, let's talk about some NXT, man. I thought it was a pretty fun show. A lot of cool things going on. We had the $1 Million Man show up. That was some fun. We had a pretty big upset victory for one Zeta Ramier, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, we had the first time Adam Cole spoke since his match with Kyle O'Reilly. I thought it was a pretty solid interview. Very irritable. Didn't quite know how he got there and how to get back. Yeah, he was kind of a dick in that interview. Seemed to feel like his time was being wasted, yet being the one who probably the one actually wasting time. Yeah, exactly. All sorts of good stuff with Dexter Lumis in the way. And then, of course, that really terrific main event where it looked like MSKushida just couldn't get the job done against Legado del Fantasma. They looked pretty strong there at the end. So, yeah, a lot of little bits and pieces here sort of stacking up for whatever the next takeover is going to be. And, of course, also we had Mercedes Martinez sort of definitively emerge as the top contender for Raquel Gonzalez's
it's happening in a couple
title.
Weeks. May 11th. That match will go down.
Yeah, kind of interesting too. Next week we've got a couple of huge matches, or at least sort of gimmicky, not gimmick, but like stipulation matches, both in the
Swerve
same show.
Versus Leon Ruff in a last man standing match.
Yeah,
That'd
and
be
then
really
the Street Fight tag title match with Indy and with The Way versus Shotzi and Ember. So a couple of big stipulation matches next week. I was like, what's going on? Was AEW running on Tuesday next week? Why are they loading this up? What's going on? But no, they're just loading up the card next week. It's
they're trying to steal some of AEW's thunder before Blood and Guts.
Before Blood and Guts. They're going to have their own Blood and Guts. What's another term for blood and guts? Plasma and
entrails.
There you go. Ooh. Anyways, the episode kicked off with Dakota Kai versus Mercedes Martinez. Mercedes Martinez was kind of the gateway to Raquel Gonzalez. Dakota Kai was that
Dakota
for Mercedes.
Kai that's what Mercedes declared. That if she got Dakota out of the way, then she can go after Raquel and not have to worry about Dakota anymore.
Oh, here we go. Maggie has it. Sangre y intestinos.
Oh, wow.
Oh man, how cool was Raul Mendoza's little bits of promo there? He's got like a Pablo Escobar freaking Narcos big jefe guy thing going on there. It was really cool. I was like, I haven't really heard that guy talk all that much.
Yeah, he hasn't really talked about it.
Sounded very imposing.
Yeah, it was great. So in this match though, Mercedes, she had to deal with Dakota. This is one of Dakota's best efforts, not just in terms of performance, as I'm talking about, in terms of like for stretches dominating her opponent. Because there's a whole commercial break where Dakota, before and after and during that, she was firmly in control. That Mercedes had to deal with Raquel as well. Mercedes set up for her finish. Raquel comes in, lays her out, and then just starts throwing her around ringside. Lawn darts her into the plexiglass. It's a really fun match, though. Really fun match.
Yeah, no, it was really fun, and yeah, Raquel beat the crap out of Mercedes Martinez. It's probably how it's going to go down in their match too.
Probably it won't be so one-sided though, but yeah.
Yeah, right.
Raquel's gonna successfully retain pretty.
Of course,
confidently.
You don't have to have eagle eyes to notice Dakota Kai holding that title there while Raquel was doing all the hard work. That was, some foreshadowing there, perhaps. After that, we had an Ember Moon Shotzi Blackheart interview. They just sort of have some very generic babyface stuff. They're kind of corny, to be honest with you, but they're interrupted by some flowers. One of the PAs brings them some flowers. And then Frankie Monet walks up too. She's like, "Ooh, flowers! Look at that!" I was like, "Wait, did Frankie give these flowers? What's going on here?" And then she grabs the card and is like, "Oh, these come to you from Dexter Lumis." And Ember's like, "I'm married. I don't want these." And they're fighting over the flowers. So
sorry, go ahead.
Kind of a silly moment there. Go ahead.
It was. I thought it was pretty charming how Ember and Shotzi were fighting over.
It's charmingly corny. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like, "Oh, this is crap.
Corny,
look at them. They're having fun." Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
No, they're great. After that, we had the first segment of Cameron Grimes watch shopping. He goes to a jewelry shop.
He does.
And he's like, he says, I want some gold. Is this gold? And he picks up a gold coin and he bites into it. He says, "No, this is chocolate. I don't want a chocolate watch."
Yeah, you better not sell me a chocolate watch. Meanwhile, there's someone on the couch behind him.
Yeah.
Like very conspicuously holding a magazine right in front of their face.
It's like an undercover FBI agent, but
pretty much.
No. It's an undercover WWF legend.
Did I ever tell you I saw DiBiase at the San Jose airport one time?
No.
Just strolling through with a WWE polo on.
Was he going to fly business class, first class?
Well, I mean, if he's sticking with his gimmick, it would be, it'd be a private jet.
Exactly, yeah.
He wouldn't fly commercial. $1 million man wouldn't fly commercial. Anyways, Grimes is telling the jeweler, "I want the most extravagant watch in the city." And then the jeweler says, "I may have something for you."
Right. So after that, we had grizzled young veterans. James Drake starts out on the microphone, says, "Tonight, MSK is in a match against Legado del Fantasma. They'll compete in any more. They're teaming with Kushida to take on all of Legado." He said, "They'll compete in any match except us." And of course, Zach Gibson then gets on the mic and says, "MSK, are a great little tag team, but personally, they're the two biggest knobheads I've ever met. The titles don't make the men make the titles. We are the leaders this tag scene so desperately needs. We are the fire that is going to ignite this division. If that causes a few snowflakes to melt, so be it.
No one will survive. And out comes Ciampa. And did I get the interruption on the right spot? I thought that's what it was.
No, he got his gimmick in of we're grizzled young veterans.
Sorry, I got
soon.
Sorry,
you just robbed the people of the soon, but that's okay.
Well, go ahead, do it. Do it.
We are the grizzled young veterans, soon, very soon to be recognized as NXT Tag Team.
No one will survive.
There you
and then
go,
Ciampa and Thatcher come out. I jumped the gun a little bit there. My apologies. So they interrupt. I even wrote it down here that they interrupted while he was doing his catchphrase. So Ciampa says, I hate to interrupt, but I've been listening to you two and notice there's some similarities. You say you're the grizzled young veterans. We're grizzled veterans. You want to be leaders of the tag division? So do we. And we all want to face MSK, become tag champs. The last time we stepped in foot in the ring with you, the Grizzled Young Veterans found a way to win. But they've been studying GYV. Thatch says, I've been watching footage, taking notes, found a lot of strength. But there was one show, Takeover Cardiff. How'd that go for you two? Shoes off if you hate Gibson.
Take shoes off if you hate
Shoes
Gibson.
off if you
and
hate
while
Gibson.
he's doing that, Ciampa is removing his boot just in the spirit of things, and he's waving it
Shoes
about.
off if you hate Gibson.
Thatcher's getting right so into the Gibson's face that they don't see Ciampa load up his boot and whack Gibson with the They Go Down. So, yeah, Ciampa and Thatcher sort of run them off.
Yeah. After that, we had a Drake Maverick, Killian Dain interview. They got a tag match done against Imperium. And Drake says, oh, how convenient. Wonder how that came about. Really sarcastically.
This was pretty funny, actually.
And then Killian Dain says, well, I just got the match the same way you do every week. I just asked. And then Drake says, I know. I've been watching wrestling for a long time. I know there's how this is going to go down. One, either you'll jump me and join Imperium, or two, you'll walk out on me during the match. And Dain says, Drake, you got to have, I'll quote some wise words. You got to have faith.
And then Drake says, did he just quote George Michael? That was pretty funny stuff.
It was funny.
After that, we had a Tien Shaw promo. Visually, it looked kind of like a Bohemian Rhapsody, the stuff with the Queen, and they're all in shadow whatever. I don't really know what she said because she was speaking in Chinese, I believe. Right?
Yeah, I assume so.
Yeah, or Mandarin, something like that, some variation.
Yeah, Cantonese.
Yeah, something. I don't really know. My niece would probably know that stuff. For a spell, she knew Mandarin, I think. Anyways, we've got Swerve Scott back in the studio. He says, hey, Leon. He says, what a coward Leon Ruff is. He says, but then I really thought about it. Swerve is proud of you, Leon. Didn't think you had it in you to beat me up. Now that I know you do, this ring can't contain us. Since the ball's in my court, falls count anywhere. You want to keep playing this game? I'll play with your life. I just did a horrible reading on that. It was an awesome promo from Swerve
It was really good.
Scott.
I love these studio promos that he does.
They're great. They're comfortable, and it's a change. It's just something different. I love this. It's such a simple feud, but it's been so effective just because the performances are really good and they've just mixed up a little bit and they've just all brought the intensity.
Totally. I mean, this is just, it's a simple change, but again, something I've been saying for a long time, change up the visual language of wrestling, especially in WWE, where far too often they need someone to advance story through talking, put them in the ring, drop a promo, have them do an interview backstage.
Yeah.
And it's tiresome. It's so formulaic. You know, I really loved it those days when NXT used to have something going on in the foreground, something in the background would happen, and that would come to the foreground. That stuff was great. Yeah. It was creative. They don't do it anymore for some reason.
I know they need to get back to that because I really like that kind of stuff. I've mentioned this before, but somebody else who's really good at doing it that way or doing that kind of stuff is MLW. Like even if you just like scrub through one of their fusion shows, there's never anything that isn't like moving or different or interesting. Like especially like even their in-ring stuff. They're all handheld cameras. I don't think they have like a regular A camera. It's all handheld stuff. Looks great. There's like a really low crowd murmur. So it could sound like there's just stuff going on in that general building. And yeah, they have their guys like film like little promos on their phones, I think. But then they like, make them in like black and white or high contrast. It always has like a really great looking sort of DIY aesthetic, kind of like GCW does that kind of stuff, where their stuff just looks all DIY, but it looks design wise really, really good. And that's why I like stuff like this. Like this didn't look DIY. This was like a professional camera with like a really nice lighting setup. But it looked great, and you could tell Swerve was just really comfortable in this setting. And it's like, it just adds a lot to him,
And it does another thing too, because far too often wrestlers are there just to drop promos. Like if you don't have a match that day, why you bother going to the arena?
Why are you there?
You know?
Yeah.
I like that we see Swerve in the environment he wants to be in. When he's not wrestling, when he's not actually wrestling.
Yeah. It reminded me of like the old Mustafa Ali promos that he would do on his own, just to put on his Twitter. It's like, why don't you just have somebody capture him while he's doing what he would normally be doing if he doesn't have a match? After that, we had Toni Storm versus Zeta Ramier. Before the match, Toni dropped a promo aimed at Zoe Stark. Said, people only know who you are because of me, but when all is said and done, history will know you as a mere footnote in my legendary career. Every time I slap this rookie over here, I'm going to imagine it's you. Toni comes out really strong. She basically dominates, like Zeta gets some stuff in. She hasn't basically won. She starts to load up for a Storm Zero. Instead, she's like, no, I'm going to do like a Super Storm Zero from the top. She takes Zeta Ramier up to the top and sort of starts to hook her arms. And then Zoe comes running down the ramp. Toni goes over to sort of talk some crap to her. Zoe gets up on the apron, distracts, comes back down. Storm comes back. Ramir's still up there, but this time she's come to. She's able to fight back. She drops Toni Storm back to the mat, and then she drops kind of a scary looking shooting star press for 3. That, something tells me 99 times she probably gets the full rotation and then some. This is the one time that maybe overthought things. I don't know, but
it was scary a little bit.
It was a little bit scary.
Like she had under-rotated slightly.
Not quite Brock Lesnar scary, but
no, thankfully.
But kind of approaching that.
After that, we had a Legado Del Fantasma promo. Santos is telling Kushida that no one gets one over on him and lives to tell about it. Wild says if it wasn't for MSK, Santos would have put Kushida in the hospital. Mendoza adds that MSK were lucky at TakeOver. Tag titles are in the wrong place. They should be around them. Santos says they're right. They'll make a statement in the main event tonight. Wild adds that they'll get those tag titles. And then Santos says, I'll reclaim what's rightfully mine, the Cruiserweight Championship. It's really good stuff.
Raul
really
Mendoza. Entonces. I don't know exactly what he said. He spoke really fast. On Narcos, they usually speak really slowly. So that gringos like me can kind of pick up. It's like, oh, I know that word. Anyways.
After that, we had a quick bit with Bronson Reed. He's walking backstage for his match. Johnny Gargano, John, and Candice are kind of hanging out by the ramp.
It's very tense.
He stops.
Very tense scene.
It is very tense. Reed stops for a bit, walks on, and then Theory pops up behind Johnny and Candice. Goes, what are you guys doing standing in the dark?
Hey guys,
dark back here.
Hey guys, what are you doing back here in the dark? It's really dark back here. He just popped. This guy, he's going to be huge if they're able to get his creative this well. Like throughout his career, he's going to be huge.
Yeah.
Just huge.
All right. You want to do this LA Knight interview? You can keep yourself from laughing like he was trying not to laugh the whole time.
So like I actually did watch this 3 times as I was taking notes. I do feel like your notes probably got it verbatim. I don't.
Not quite.
I don't.
Close.
But I just like reading what I have
right,
because it's not verbatim. Oh yeah, last week everyone was talking about Kyle O'Reilly getting out of Adam Cole's shadow, right? Yeah, no, wrong. Ha! Everyone was talking about my win over that mustache moron Loomis. Guess who was sitting front row? Pop Dart Indy Hartwell. Let me talk to you. I saw the twinkle in your eye, which said there was a tingle in your loins. Number 1, ew. Don't ever say that, Dexter LA Knight. That's kind of gross. Yeah. Oh, after Dexter Loomis disappoints you, check my references, and there are plenty of them. Yeah. Oh, man, I've had so many STDs. LA Knight is a walking petri dish, and that's not an insult. That's just a fact of life. Oh, yeah, I pee syrup. I was like, wow, why is he talking about having so many STDs? It was disgusting.
The second half, he was trying not to laugh the entire time. He just thought he was so funny.
He was pretty funny. He did not say anything about STDs, but he says, after Dexter disappoints you, check my references? What is she supposed to do there? How do you check his references?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
And he says there are plenty, and they'll tell you to the letter there's nothing hotter than LA Knight.
I'll give you 3 minutes of good loving.
And the whole time he was just trying not to laugh. That's all I could notice.
It was pretty good.
And as he leaves, he goes, "Yeah."
He was very pleased with himself.
He was. So after he leaves, Everrise steps in. They call LA Knight a dummy. And wonders if Mackenzie, who was doing the interview, had any questions for them. She says, "No." Back to commentary.
Well, they were pushing there. Did you have any questions about our Saturday morning social media show, Everrise Live?
No. After that, we had Bronson, Reed, and Austin Theory. This is a fun match as the way we're making their way down. Indy Hartwell just pouts and keeps on walking.
Oh, she's sad.
Down the ramp because she didn't get the flowers.
Well, you know what I appreciate about that is that they did the flower bit and they didn't need the extra like, oh, they're backstage. Oh, are you sad? Yeah, I'm sad because I didn't get the flowers. It was just like they did the flower thing. You get the point. And then the next time you see Indy, she's bummed out. I like that. Sometimes like on main roster, you know, that it'd be like just pounded into the ground so everybody understood. Mm-hmm. So anyways, so there's actually quite a bit of back and forth here.
Yeah.
At one point,
that's a pretty strong showing.
He did, yeah. So Reed likes pouncing people. He pounces in a lot of shoulder blocks, shoulder tackles. So he sort of pounced Austin, so he gets like stuck in the ropes, kind of like during the battle royal that he was in.
Yeah, with his feet kind of keeping him from falling to the floor.
Yeah. So Gargano comes over to help him. Reed comes through, sort of pounces Austin off the apron.
Gargano was asking the ref, "Can I help him up? Can I help him up?"
Yeah. Can I help him? Can I help him? He pounces Austin off the apron there. He goes to the floor. Reed and Gargano start chattering. Austin back inside. I think it's back inside. Hits that a huge drop kick on Reed. Mm-hmm. That guy, man.
He's super athletic.
Him and who was the other one? Jin Drake in that footage from like Japan I saw, where it's like, oh my God, the height. Like, dude, Austin was up there. He was like almost over Reed's head for this drop kick. It was crazy high. Mm-hmm. So anyways, he hits a drop kick on Reed, comes in, claims shoulder injury, allowing Gargano to super kick Reed. Austin attacks on the outside, throws him into some steps, back from commercial. Reed has control again. Lots of back and forth though for a while. Then Loomis stalks out and he's trying to, like, I guess either stare at or talk to Indy. Gargano notices, sort of pulls Candice out of his field of view, I guess. Indy wants no part of him. She walks away from him. She's pissed he sent Ember and Shotzi flowers. She gets in the ring to get away from him. He's on the apron, I guess trying to talk to her or just stare or whatever. And then the action starts to come towards her. He pushes her out of the way from danger. He takes a hit, and then that leads to Bronson Reed hitting a tsunami for 3. Mm-hmm. But it's a really terrific match, yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun. They've really seemingly gotten to the essence of the Austin Theory character, and it's working pretty well.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
It's working pretty damn well. After that, we had a Kushida and MSK interview. MSK, not surprisingly, very excited. And Wesley says, "Hey, we want to thank Kushida for taking them under his wing, making their transition to NXT that much easier." And Carter says, "Yeah, that's why we came out to help you last week." And Kushida says, "Hey, we're going to show them that we're champs." And MSK starts doing their thing. And Kushida says, "Nah, it's going to be MSKushida."
MSKushida. This is a good little subtle point here, Mac. He said, "Did I hear Indy right when she told Dexter Loomis you talk too much and to be quiet?" Yeah. It's hilarious. Yeah. That's so good. After that, we had the way backstage, and Gargano, understandably upset with Austin Theory, says, I thought you said you had his number, man. Austin said, "Sorry, John, it was the wrong number."
Had the wrong number.
So he's saying this is Loomis's fault, and Candice is getting into Indy's head. They're trying to steal your man. You see Shotzi and Ember trying to steal your man. I see them looking at him with googly eyes. Indy just gets pissed off and walks off. So clearly it was Candice who sent the flowers to Shotzi and Ember. Mm-hmm. After that, we had Imperium versus Drake Maverick and Killian Dain.
Yeah. Killian was dominating early, then tags in Drake. Drake hits a pair of drop kicks. Eventually, though, he loses the advantage, but then gets it back, hits Rana, goes up top. Marcel flings him off. Dain gets upset as Imperium kind of cuts some corners to work over Drake. So Drake is isolated for a stretch. Eventually frees himself. He's looking for a tag. Marcel boots Dain off the apron. Imperium back to work on Drake. Later on, Drake gets body slammed by Eichner and loses his belt. And Bartel tries to hit Dain on the apron. Killian backdrops him out of the ring. Eichner misses an elbow drop, so Drake is kind of like crawling backwards to his corner, trying to get a tag, reaches back. And as he reaches back, Marcel pulls Dain off the apron. And so Drake turns around and sees that Dain isn't there. Maybe, putting a thought in our head, at least, he's going to think that Dain walked out on him. While he's there selling that, Eichner comes from behind and boots him right in the head. Just right in the head. And then Imperium double team Drake back in their own corner. I was really surprised that the ref didn't call for a DQ because it seemed like they were doing that more than 5 seconds. Anyway, Dain comes back in the ring. He starts beating up Imperium, sends Bartel out of the ring, follows him. Bartel boots him in the face. And then Bartel tells Wolf to get a chair. And while Bartel is distracting the ref, Wolf's about to take a swing at Dain, but can't bring himself to do it. Because it's sanity. They have history together. So Bartel goes out there and confronts him about it. And while that's happening, Drake hits Bartel with a suicide dive. And then Dain picks up Drake on the apron, press slams him into Eichner, looks to lawn dart Bartel. Instead, he gets distracted by Wolf. And so Bartel rams Dain to the ring steps. Drake hits a crossbody off the top. Eichner rolls through right into Imperium's finish to get the win.
Yep. It was a fun match. After that, we had a Pete Dunne video promo, kind of similar to what we've seen over the last couple weeks. Talks about being the toughest wrestler there is. Not sure what he's going to do. Lists off Kushida, Walter, John, and Karrion Kross as potential targets, given that they have the titles. And he punctuates it by saying, "I'm the baddest man in NXT. Prove me wrong."
Prove me wrong.
Stealing your gimmick.
New gimmick after that. More Cameron Grimes shopping for a watch. So he's got a watch on. It looks pretty nice. It looks like it's gold. Who knows? It actually is gold.
Pretty fancy.
He says, it's like, is this thing working? I can't hear it tick. Karrion Kross won't be happy about that. And the jeweler says, I think this is the one. Grimes says, yeah, it's perfect for me. I'll wear it out. Just ring me up. And then someone steps up to him and says, hey, it's not a bad watch, but is it $1 million watch? And there's this one that's like diamond encrusted and stuff. Of course, it's Ted DiBiase. He just laughs in Cameron Grimes' face.
Then he walks out. Yeah, he was waiting there the whole time just to do that. After that, we had Robert Stone brands Jesse Kamea and Aaliyah versus Shotzi and Ember. Or at least we were supposed to get that. Candice and Indy attack before the bell with the flowers and the cake and the hay. And Robert Stone brand, they act like they won the titles, but there was no match that took place. The bell never rang. And, of course, even if it had, it'd be a DQ. So
it'd be a DQ, yeah. So even then they wouldn't win.
Wouldn't have gotten the titles.
Then we get Adam Cole interview. So he's on his phone to start. He's like, are we going to get going? Are we going to get started?
Then, he's on his phone. And dude's like, I'm waiting for you. Waiting for me? How rude.
Yeah. So Cole's asked how his recovery's been. Cole says, I've been better, but I've also been worse. Fought through worse during my legendary title reign. I had a broken wrist during the peak of that run. 100% or not, he's better than anybody else in that locker room. Asked, was it a mistake to turn on Undisputed Era? He says, I don't make mistakes. I make decisions. I decide I don't want to carry Undisputed Era around anymore. I've been carrying NXT for almost 4 years since I've been here, even though I delivered the first shot. They are the ones who lost sight of what Undisputed Era is all about. They turned their back on me. He's asked about Kyle O'Reilly being the face of NXT. He says people get so excited to say somebody is going to be the next big thing in NXT. Kyle got lucky at TakeOver. Kyle is going to listen to those people who say he's ready for the main event, but he's not. There's a reason Kyle O'Reilly has been here 4 years, and people are just now trying to recognize him as a main eventer. He says, but I know the anxiety O'Reilly is dealing with because he knows he's not ready to be in the main event or be champ. And the reason is that he feels this. What the heck does? Oh man, there's some bad note taking on my part.
Oh, he just said
Kyle's insecurity is real.
Yeah.
He says as long as Cole is in NXT, O'Reilly will never take his spot. He's asked about title with Cross carrying it. Cole says, I don't lie. I never lie. Cross is good. Don't know if he's great, though. He hasn't had to deal with me yet. And whenever I decide, if I decide, get back in the title picture, clock is ticking for carrying. But Adam Cole, what are you going to do next? It's not anybody's business what I'm doing next. I'm pissed off people think that Kyle O'Reilly is going to replace me. I've been carrying NXT. No matter where I go, you're going to see the best Adam Cole anyone has ever seen. Are we done? It's hot out here. You're making me sit out here in the suit. It's hot.
This isn't the way you conduct interviews. How do I get out of here? This way? And then meanwhile, you see Kyle O'Reilly is watching in a dark room somewhere.
That shakes his head.
Very judgmental. After that, we had apparently this is maybe some sort of faction that's going to be happening soon. It's for the Diamond Mine. Now, according to an article from Wrestling Inc. That was reporting on this yesterday, it says a new MMA-themed stable or program is being teased for the WWE NXT brand. Talked about this. It said the promo displays several phrases: thrive, achieve, succeed, push beyond, pressure makes diamonds, pressure is pleasure, train, perform, become, fight, win, repeat.
Wow.
It says the YouTube description for the vignette says pressure makes diamonds. And then you get like the logo at the end. I'm pretty sure I've seen this template, this After Effects template in the Envato stuff that we go after, Larson. There was nobody discernible in this thing. It was just a bunch of like people doing some MMA training, men and women. So yeah, the WWE has a patent on Diamond Mine. It said this too. There's this little footnote here. It says, interesting to note that the vignette shows athletes using bags with the Fusion XL brand name on them. And Fusion XL is a fitness center based about 20 minutes away from Orlando, where the performance center is. It says, for what it's worth, Fusion XL also has a pro fight team with several MMA fighters under the brand. And they list a bunch of them. So... yeah, it says the vignette was retweeted by Triple H, but he's not commented as of this writing.
Interesting.
So, yeah,
looking at the NXT roster here, at least people who have been on TV, and no real names jump out other than like Bobby Fish. I know he has some MMA training.
Oh, for like MMA guys. Yeah, there hasn't been any recent signees that have like MMA backgrounds.
Not that. Well, let me check.
I mean, I wonder, I know that they're doing heavy on the up, down, down stuff, but I mean, Jessamine Duke could be part of this. I was thinking, I mean, is this going to be like a backdoor pilot for the NXT sub show?
It could be. Could be.
The Diamond Mine. Next week, we've got The Way versus Shotzi and Ember in the tag team title street fight, and Rough versus Swerve for the Falls Count Anywhere. Oh, our Trueus, maybe if they brought him back. Yeah, true. Yeah.
True. Then we got our main event, Legado del Fantasma versus MSKushida. MSKushida's in control early. Legado eventually.
Hey, I just like those dinosaur masks. Had they worn those before? Legado, they had those dinosaur masks on. They were honestly, they look like something my kid would wear. They were so like, you know, because Santos comes out with his lucha mask and it looks legit. Yeah. They come out with these like dinosaur masks, like, but they're like lucha masks, but they're like white and they have like a really cheesy dinosaur on them, like printed up. I was not intimidated by their dinosaur masks.
So anyways, Legado eventually turns tables. Nash Carter is isolated for a long stretch. He's getting his arm worked over. Eventually he tags in Kushida. Kushida goes on a run, hits Santos with an arm wringer, baseball punch for Wild, follows with a penalty kick to his arm. Wes Lee gets the tag in. Then right after that, Carter, they do the assisted shooting star press thing. Mendoza in to break up that pin. He gets kicked out of the ring.
Oh, they were Jaguar masks. Apparently they were Jaguar masks.
Oh.
I thought they were dinosaurs.
MSK hits stereo suicide dives on Raul and Joaquin. Santos then pulls Kushida off the apron into the ring steps and power bombs him through the announce table.
Oh.
So Nash Carter notices that, goes to check on Kushida. Raul boots him in the head and then throws him to the ring steps. So then Wesley's in there by himself. Essentially, at this point, it's a 3-on-1 match.
Mm-hmm.
Wesley is trying to fight off Legado. Eventually, though, he eats a drop kick. Trainer is over there checking on Kushida. Legado is just working over Wesley. Eventually, though, Wesley backdrops Wild to the apron, trips up Raul onto him, knocks him to the floor. Santos tries to hit him with a frog splash, misses. Lee hits some kicks. It buys Carter enough time to get back on the apron. Lee gets the tag to him. He goes on a really quick run until Mendoza destroys him with an enziguri. Just lays him out.
Yeah.
So by that point, Kushida, he tells the trainers to go away. He kind of stumbles into the ring, and as he's getting in the ring, Santos kicks him in the head.
Yeah.
Hits a Phantom Driver.
Yeah.
And then Legado hits their finish on Nash Carter to get the win.
It was a great match. It was a great match.
It was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun. But yeah, Kushida, dude, man, just hang back, big fella. He got kicked in the head and Phantom driven.
He had
into
boots on again.
Yeah. Oh, did he? Okay, I didn't notice.
Yeah, he had boots on.
Yeah. Woo, man.
Fun match. Hopefully we'll see some more fun wrestling tonight on AEW. We got a preview here.
Ooh.
Steve, I'm guessing you're looking forward to this match. Nightmare Family versus The Factory.
Oh, my favorites all in one match. That's great. That's awesome.
I know. Steve's main event.
Can you please fast forward to whatever Christian's going to do this week?
It's not advertised. It says we'll hear from Kenny Omega.
Okay.
Chris Statlander versus Penelope Ford.
Ooh, that's going to be good.
Inner Circle, Pinnacle. They're going to parlay.
Oh, God.
We get the Young Bucks versus the Seidel brothers.
Oh, that's going to be good.
And then Darby Allin versus 10.
10. Oh, that's cool.
10.
Right on. That's neat. Let's see here.
I'm guessing the parlay is going to be the main event.
Yeah,
segment.
probably. Yeah. My guess is that Team Taz is going to call out Christian for being Wrestler of the Week. Maybe one of their other dudes, Cage, Stark, somebody had a better week.
Oh, I
in their
think Cage
opinion.
is supposed to. I think Cage is supposed to wrestle Hangman Page tonight too.
Oh, really? That's cool.
I thought so. I thought I saw that. I didn't see it on AEW's Twitter.
A new rumor says Brian Cage to fight Hangman
Maybe I'm
Page.
making that up.
You got it from Wrestling Channel News, man. Gareth says you're dressed appropriately for the parlay. Is that like an old?
That's true.
It's like an old timey thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pirate thing. It's an old pirate thing.
Yeah. Shall we parlay? Shall we transition to asking questions?
Sure.
Hammond Serrano, do you guys prefer a slow burn into one big match like the Mega Powers Explode? That's like a 2-year slow burn. Or a series of matches following a story. What would serve better for Raquel and Dakota's feud? My personal thing is a series of matches that you tell a story via those matches. That's my thing.
We got a couple other matches here. Yeah, Paige versus Cage and also Penta versus Orange Cassidy. Those matches are happening tonight.
Paige versus Cage.
And then Penta and Orange Cassidy.
Hopefully the other Cage gets involved in Cage versus Paige. Somehow.
Could be Cage and Paige and Cage.
Yeah, with Cage.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It all depends on the matchup and what story they're trying to tell. You know, some stories are told better in the ring. If you really want to slow burn the story and there's material there that allows it, then yeah, give me the 2-year long build. If you can make it work and if it's effective, heck yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know. Is it like Mega? It was just such a different time when they did that Mega Powers thing. You know, it's like there were 3 story beats that happened over 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I like the thing that I love about this is like when you do the doing the story beats within the matches, when it's done right, you do the thing where you recall earlier stuff in other matches. Totally. I love that stuff. Is so great.
I mean, a story that we don't see very often, but I thought was really good with Naito's feud with the Intercontinental title. Like the resentment he had against that belt because he won the G1 that year, was supposed to challenge for the title, but then got bumped out of the main event due to a fan vote. Yeah. And he had resentment against the IC belt for it, and then treated it like trash when he had it.
Yeah.
That's great stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
That's great stuff. The Spider Dain, with how well NXT is booked with long-term stories and pre-announced matches, this give you hope for a Triple H WWE in the future, including Raw and SmackDown. I wouldn't expect to see change in terms of WWE programming because Triple H, I think, is aware, and he said as much that Raw and SmackDown are top 40, the music analogy, NXT is like indie radio essentially. But I think more than anything, we just see some internal logic in terms of how WWE constructs their stories, because that's desperately needed. Just internal logic and consistency.
If Triple H is the dude when Vince retires, it's not going to, you're right in that the presentation in terms of like, oh, is everything going to be metal now? Is everything going to be fused with like eagle's wings? No. That being said, I think it's going to get a little bit more metal. And I do think that what you're saying is exactly right. I think there's going to be probably, maybe, I don't know about most importantly is going to be, the attention to logic and detail. But like, he might start pushing the product to where it should go into the future with stuff like we see in NXT, the way things are presented, promos are presented. And I'll be honest with you, the dude is probably at this point chomping at the bit. He is so goddamn diplomatic in every one of those conference calls. And to me, that just says, man, this guy's just waiting. He's just waiting. And I think that we are going to see changes for the better in terms of like story arcs and stuff like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so. Shane's birthday tweet: Wade being an LA Night mark is perfect. What other commentators besides JR and Austin worked well together? Because JR was always Stone Cold's #1 fan, pretty much.
So this is like a different thing, but much like we had Heenan always being anti-Hogan, Corey Graves always being anti-Elias was like one of my favorite things.
Especially in NXT, that was great.
Especially in NXT, it was terrific. Yeah. Any other answers there?
I mean, an obvious one is Shivani and Sting.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Rob Conway guy is back. Says, you guys have been put in charge to book Daniel Bryan's eventual NXT Dream Match run. Name 3 opponents for Bryan to face, and why are all 3 against 5-time OVW champion Rob Conway? Well, I'm going to differ from that. So 3 opponents for Bryan. So we've already seen him with Adam Cole on that really great episode of SmackDown. So I'm gonna say, look, I know they could put on another classic. I'm gonna back away from that. I'm gonna go obviously Gargano.
It's Gargano, Dunn, and Kushida.
Dunn, Kushida. Hard to argue with those names. I mean, and then can he go to UK and do a stint there?
Sure.
With Walter, Tyler Bate, and I don't know, maybe Jordan Devlin.
Night by Night.
Ilya.
Recently...
Ilya. Never mind.
Ilya, that'd be good. Yeah. Walter, Night by Night recently opened a frozen custard stand in your hometown of Sacramento. You need more employees. What NXT superstar do you hire to make and sell delicious custards? Who would know a thing or two about making custard?
I don't know if he does, but Bronson Reed, who'd say no to that guy?
I'm going to say Ciampa. I think he's from Milwaukee. And the one frozen custard place I've been to was in the Midwest, was in Wisconsin, actually.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's my only reason.
Man, nobody's going to buy shit from that guy. He's scary looking, and he's only 35. Bronson Reed, that great accent, big dude. Jolly looking, oi, you want some frozen custard? Piss off ghost.
White Brownie, which brand would you rather have Daniel Bryan on, Raw or NXT? It's NXT.
Oh my God, it's NXT. Are you kidding me? So Jay Singh, we already sort of answered this question because he had the same thing about when Triple H finally takes over Vince. Will the rest of WWE get the same metalhead aesthetic? So we kind of answered that already, but I just want to give him a shout out because he had a question here on the Patreon.
Yeah. Twinewinder, the guys on the Fightful podcast have theorized that Vince has already started his exit strategy with Stephanie taking over Vince's corporate duties and Triple H taking over his creative duties.
I would like to listen to that. What was it, today's episode? When was this? I want to hear what they have to say about that.
All right.
Somebody give me the info, please. Twinewinder, please give me the info. Benny Omega, which of the current champions in NXT do you think would do the best on main roster, and who would do the worst? Who's the women's champion right now? Oh, Raquel Gonzalez is going to be a special. Mm-hmm. It is. You're right. It is Cross, but Raquel Gonzalez, she's going to be special on main roster. I believe that.
Mm-hmm. Twine Winder says it was today's episode.
Thank you, Twine Winder. I'll definitely check that out. Can somebody give me exact time code for when that is?
Ins and outs.
I'm half joking. If somebody knows about where it was, that'd be great. If you don't, not a big deal.
Maybe they have timestamps.
It'd be pretty cool. Oh yeah, they might. That's good.
Diehard Homer, what NXT superstar shows up to your barbecue and brings beer, and who shows up late and brings nothing and eats all the potato salad? LA Knight in character shows up late and eats all the food.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. The way I'll just come through whenever. They just roll through whenever. Kyle O'Reilly shows up on time with beer.
Yeah.
Current Kyle does that. Yeah.
Yes. Cool.
And he's
Kyle
got an iPod, not an iPhone, an iPod, the click wheel, loaded with songs to play. He's like, "Hey man,
party mix.
I've got my party mix here." Okay. How long is it? It's like 8 hours. Oh.
It's 8 hours. That's all the best stuff. What's on there? Metallica, Joy Division, all the shirts he's been wearing.
Metallica. Okay, what else? Just those, you need more.
It's like 3 hours of Joy Division and 5 of Metallica. I don't even know if Joy Division has 3 hours of music.
Oh, here we go. He says the beginning part that I watched before your stream started at 3 to 3:20. All right, cool. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it, Twine Lander. That's nice.
That's awesome. Maze and Rick, Adam Cole's last run before heading to main roster. It's hard to tell these days. It's not. I don't think it's a given that people in NXT, do their first or even second cycle through of storylines and are going to get called up, if you will.
All right, time for a team meeting. Listen, everybody gather in, guys and girls. Come on. Here's the deal. Vince is retiring soon. You didn't hear it from me. The old man's retiring. We're all going to hunker down here. No more call-ups. I'm not going to let him ruin any more of you.
So the ratings are in.
Oh, what'd they do?
744, down 100,000 from last week.
Goo.
The 18 to 49 demo was only down slightly, 0.22 from 0.23.
It's always weird how that just does what it wants to do. So if the demo is only down slightly, does that mean they just shed a bunch of old people?
Yeah, that would seem to make sense.
Kyle O'Reilly's playlist has Hot Topic radio ads. That's funny. Oh, this is good. J.R. Wayne says, including yourself, create the Ultimate Trios tag team that will most definitely win titles. Must include one fictional character / person and one non-fictional person.
Wow. All right, me, Paul Bunyan.
Good.
And then, but does the real life person, could they be a wrestler or no?
It's just one non-fictional person. His examples here are King Kong and televangelist Benny Hinn.
All right, so we'll assume that we can't pick a wrestler.
Okay, that's a good assumption to make. No, super athletes either.
All right. Wow, shoot. I'm trying to think of...
So one of my partners is going to be Steven Seagal's character from Under Siege.
All right, good.
My non-fictional person is going to be Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal, okay.
Yeah. So it's me, it's Steve and Steve.
Steve and Steven.
Two of them are Seagals, but that wasn't his name in the movie. I don't know.
It's Casey Ryback.
Holy shit. How did you know that?
In Under Siege? I've seen it a few times.
Is that the one where that girl busts out of the cake?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
Hold on. I thought you said we couldn't have any super athletes. You picked Steven Seagal.
Is he a super athlete?
No, I'm being sarcastic. Oh, man.
Remember when they did Bash at the, I think it was Bash at the Beach or Fighter Fest or some shit like that, and they showed that girl in a bikini, and JR said, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh man. This is
Jean-Claude Van Damme an elite athlete?
Fuck yeah. Oh yeah, he is. Are you kidding me? This is great. Carlos says Steve, Pablo Escobar, and Walker, Texas Ranger. Those are great. That's a great team right there.
They'll go with Taft. He was a wrestler, I think, and he was huge.
Taft. Yeah, that's a big dude. Yeah, William Howard Taft. That's a good one.
President and then Supreme Court Justice.
And then Supreme Court Justice. That's right. Nobody else did that. Let's see here. We'll end on this one. Moses Supposes says, oh, this is good. Wait, we'll do these two. Moses Supposes says, and if you got one, toss it in. Says, what is the payoff of Grimes and DiBiase? Any chance it leads to the return of DiBiase Jr.? We might have just seen the payoff, although they might do more vignettes down the, they might just keep on doing them, and it might lead to DiBiase cornering him. I don't know.
Could be
an alliance.
Someone having DiBiase's proxy, and I don't know. Maybe Grimes could find a way to bring back the $1 million title or something.
Could be. Oh wow, Diehard Homer has this, and granted, it includes an athlete, but Larson, Rawgate Mutant, and Kareem.
That's good.
Oh man. Or you could do the Game of Death thing, like me, Bruce Lee, and Kareem. Let's see here. And then we've got Imposter Naked Midian asks, pick a Seinfeld character that you would want to see in professional wrestling. And number one, it's David Putty for me. And pick a pro wrestler you want to see as a character on Seinfeld.
I think George Costanza as a manager would be fascinating.
That's good. I'd want to see Ciampa on Seinfeld. I could see him being like one of Kramer's weird friends. You know?
I'll say Big E because I know he's a huge Seinfeld fan.
Man, that'd be good. All right. Oh, wow. This is actually a really good question. We'll end on this one. Well, there's this one too. Alex Foster says, so if Candice and Indy lose, that'll be the fourth time they've lost to Ember and Shotzi in a row. Is that a problem? Either this is going to be a loss that leads to Indy leaving the way because of the Loomis stuff, or they are going to win and then they'll just do that later on. But yeah, I don't know. That's sort of a big deal if they lose for a fourth time.
Yeah, it is kind of a deal. That is a deal.
There's this question here. This is a great one. Which group of wrestlers could you see banding together to collectively jump ship to another promotion, a la the Radicals in 2000?
Oof.
I'm trying to think because I know Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan's contracts are both up soon. So those two.
How about Sammy, Daniel Bryan, and then CM Punk? I'll go to AEW.
Yeah. Who's their
Rocco.
Perry Saturn, though? Who's their fourth guy who's just kind of Mojo.
Right.
I like Mojo, though. I hope Mojo finds a lot of success. That guy's got tons of charisma.
He does. He
and
does.
unlimited
He's
stamina.
a massive amount of charisma. Rocco says, hey, Larson, what was the name of the Hulu documentary on Bigfoot? Sasquatch.
Gotta check it out. Anyways, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Tonight, we got our AEW review at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.